Hello, my name is Adina Pintilie, and I am a graduate of the Politics and International Bachelor of Science, and I also have a proficiency in German. I am currently an open source intelligence researcher at a research consultancy in London. I really did love my course. I think the best part of my course and having completed it is the fact that I realized that numbers aren't scary. I barely scraped AS Maths. It was probably the happiest C I've ever got in my whole life. And I thought, if I don't do numbers now, I'm never going to do numbers. I'm going to be someone who's read politics and knows about international relations, but the second they hear about numbers, they just zone out. And the best part of my degree was the fact that it took away this fear. I feel comfortable when people say numbers at me. When I read the headlines even, I know kind of to discern what's kind of just the faff that's out there, the noise, and what's real. And I think that's a great skill, not just in terms of employment, but also in terms of, just life. My course and general experience at Exeter really, they did help me get to where I am now. I was really fortunate to be able to be involved in a bunch of research projects that some academics at Exeter were running at the time, and I gained loads of work experience through that. So it's not just the stuff that I learned, because obviously that's really important, but it's also the skills that I amassed along the way. I was in a bunch of societies and I really enjoyed being in those. I learned how to be in a team differently, because, everyone comes to university and they can express themselves a little bit more than they could before in school, and people are in different walks of their life, so you learn how to be in a team as well as learning about the academic stuff of it. You learn a little bit about kind of your own time management. You learn so much more than just the stuff that you get set in academia, and I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for my Exeter degree, I don't think. I think that Career Zone is probably one of the best resources at Exeter University. I've spoken to so many of my peers who have completed their degrees or are just starting different degrees, either undergraduate or postgraduate at different universities, and they all say they wish they had a service like Career Zone. I remember I interviewed for a scholarship at a think tank in the States, and I was terrified. I had a mock interview in Career Zone, and it was really cool. Someone looked over my CV and kind of did a mock interview with me, and I felt so much better. I didn't end up getting that scholarship. It's probably for the better, actually, because I ended up staying at Exeter for another year and I did an MA here. But, that's just one tiny little glimpse. I got loads of work experience through the Career Zone. I found a student campus partnership that I did for most of my undergraduate degree and half of my postgraduate degree. I did kind of multiple roles across the university when it comes to research in different departments. And the fact that all of that was centralized there, not just the resource to find, those jobs available out there, but also the ways in which that I could make the best out of those opportunities. I had all of the CV, the interview help. I could book a room to have all of these remote interviews sometimes. And that is just simply awesome. I decided what I wanted to do after university actually through, in a weird way, Career Zone. I applied for a summer internship, which is being a digital media intern at the company where I am now. I really loved it there. It was just advertised on Career Zone. I applied randomly. I got it. And I worked at the research consultancy over the summer before my postgraduate degree. And they happened to like me as much as I liked them. And they offered me a job to stay on with them during my master's, which I did. So I worked remotely from Exeter and kind of joined the team in London every now and again. And then at the end of my postgraduate studies, they said, hey, would you like to stay on to do some more research with us? And here I am now, and I'm in charge of, some different research teams. I get to do loads of innovation. Really fortunate that I can lead diversity and inclusion efforts. So I think that the start of where I got now was both Exeter and Career Zone, really. I progressed into my current role after I graduated. As I say, pretty seamlessly. I was really fortunate that I was just offered a job, but I didn't expect this offer to come. So I did a lot of prep in kind of what's out there. And Career Zone was really helpful for me in this particular way because it's a service where you can figure out kind of different roles that can be advertised. So loads of other jobs out there in kind of research. That's what I was mostly interested in kind of current affairs. And it was a really good way for me to benchmark what I was worth. I knew that I had all of this experience that I'd amassed through university. And through my course, I did a summer internship in Brussels, which was great experience. I knew kind of what to expect. So I learned what I wanted to do, and I knew what to do if, nothing comes up. I know where to look. And, Career Zone was an amazing support, but at the same time, the academics around me, my personal tutor, my all of my lecturers were incredibly supporting of all that I wanted to do. I applied for some random jobs, and people read all of these project proposals that I put together. I applied for a conference and got my very first academic rejection, and everyone was incredibly supportive. It wasn't just, giving me constructive feedback when I was putting stuff out there into the world, but it was the lessons learned, the, oh my gosh, I failed. Someone sat down with me and then told me what to do, and, this is fine, you're going to get through this. And the human touch of that is probably something that we don't talk enough about. Everyone is really supportive. Everyone wants you to do well. And that's really nice. And when I first saw the university just before I joined, it's huge. It looks like a huge campus. There are 2 campuses in Exeter and, the Penryn campus. And it just feels like you're a teeny tiny blob, but everyone really did care. And that was really lovely. If there's anything that I'd recommend to students to plan ahead for their future career, would be try stuff that you might not want to do. The internship that I mentioned in Brussels, it was in polling. I thought that's what I wanted to do. We'd done statistics in our classes. I really enjoyed working with the data. And I thought, maybe I'd like to be, the primary source of analysis for this, the stuff that goes out there and put into the world. And I realized I didn't like it. I actually hated it. And knowing what you don't want to do is just as important. I would say that your time at university is the best time to trial all of those things out before you have to worry about, paying rent and bills and all of those things more than you have to at university. Exeter was a fantastic place. I'm really fortunate to have gone through my undergraduate. I'm really fortunate to have done my postgraduate. And yeah, Exeter is probably the best university in the world.